Where did you bump into your ex and how was that? I bumped into my ex at the grocery tonight. I haven't seen her in over 10 years and we were together for 3 years. Lived together for 2 years. Both in our late 20s at the time. Not paying attention, picking out a frozen pizza, with a cart full of junk food because I shopped hungry and I was wearing my dirty work clothes and she tapped me on the shoulder. We talked for about 10 minutes catching up. She showed me a picture of her kid and I showed her a few of mine. I took off my hat and showed her how gray my hair is getting and she said how she hates how she now has wrinkles under her eyes. They were hardly noticeable. She seemed nervous. We both sort of stood there for a moment and I smiled and said, "Nice seeing you," and she did the same. We broke up for good reasons, but man, do I have so many mixed emotions right now. I crashed into her new BF's car while they were going to a wedding, first time seeing her in over 3 years. Like damn, we're no longer together and you still manage to ruin my day. At a grocery store she looked familiar and was staring at me, but I was in the middle of a phone call so kept walking, didn't register who it was until 10 minutes later. Holy smokes. The lizard part of your brain recognized her before mission control did and was like, not today. We ain't got time. Met her at a mutual friend function, with her new boyfriend. He seemed nice until he wanted to fight me, for undisclosed reasons. Long story short, he got into a screaming match with her in the middle of the pub before they both stormed off. The ribs were good, sliders not so much. At a wedding. She was drunk and tried to make out with me in front of her boyfriend, whom the bride and maid of honor told me was an absolute jerk so I should screw her in the limo. But I'm not getting involved in that nonsense. At a charity event. My employer was donating a bunch of money to the nonprofit where she worked. I went not knowing that. I hated every minute of it. She kept wanting to be friendly and buddy-buddy. You don't cheat on a man and try to baby trap him with another man's child then expect anything except contempt. At a bar 2 weeks ago. We were together for 6 years but broke up 8 years ago. She was an awful person. As soon as she saw me and my current fiancé, she tried to put on a big extravagant show which was hilarious. Also, when I was walking back from the toilet past her table, she asked me if she could have a word for a minute, to which I replied with a jovial, "Nope." Slite. Canadian Tire. An employee was helping me search up tires for my car. After choosing some, he says go to the next counter to make an appointment for installation. I walk up and it's my ex. Shocked as fuck, I chuckle and say, well, this is odd. She acted as if I was just a regular customer. Maybe that was the best thing to do. Then next week after my appointment she's there again to take my payment. This time she was more dolled up, almost like she was expecting someone. Again she didn't acknowledge me as an ex and said have fun when I was on my way out. What made the whole thing even funnier is that her new boyfriend was the one to work on my car. Check the brakes. And the tires. And my axe. At California Pizza Kitchen while I was with my new GF and she was with her family. I noticed her stepdad and sister, then I noticed her and told my GF I think we should go lol. While on the first date with someone new. Few months after our breakup, we were both in our late 20s. It was a mini zoo and she was there with her dad. It was awkward as they wanted to chat and the girl I came with didn't really feel comfortable. She walked into the petrol site I was managing. I saw her and walked out the back. I didn't want to speak to her ever again. Okay, I wouldn't call her an ex, but she was something. She was a bit crazy and wanted me to keep sleeping with her even after I found she was engaged. She had absolutely no concept of personal boundaries, so I ghosted her. I made a joke with my friends once that if they ever saw her around town to tell her I was dead. Turns out they actually did do it and I didn't know, so one day she sees me in the mall and lost it. TLDR. Her kid and husband did not seem very entertained with the crying and kissing. Was out having lunch with a girlfriend, watching people walk by. Was looking at 2 cops and thinking about the female cop, she looks really familiar. Then I realized she was a bit of a crazy ex, but by then she'd seen me see her and I had to say hi and make pleasantries for a bit before she left. The club. She was high on ketamine.